Hello again and welcome to Crafting with Lisa Horton. This is my YouTube channel where I have lots of videos and inspiration from both myself and my amazing design team. And today I am talking to you about watercolours and watercolour palettes and how to use them with embossing folders. So let's start from the beginning and introduce you to my watercolour palette. As you can see here, mine is incredibly well loved. I have a little dirty pot of water here, which I've obviously been using this morning, and I have my little bit of tissue here, which I use for wiping off excess water and excess colour from my work and from my paintbrush. So the Watercolour Euphoria Palette by Lisa Horton Crafts is absolutely fabulous. So why is mine better than others on the market? Why should you buy mine? And what is the difference between what you have at home already, if you have them? So first of all, it comes in a lovely tin. So you'll get your tin coming to you. It will be packaged beautifully for you as well, but I've discarded my packaging as I've been using these so much, as you can see. And when you open yours, you have a palette one side and you also have a palette the other side. So you have plenty of space to do your mixing of your paints and looking after your colours on the go and popping them, you know, into your bag when you're on the train, on the way to work. It's lots of ways of using these, and I've tried to make these as portable as possible. So alongside that, you are going to get your water brush. This is a medium water brush. Let's pop the end up like so. And in here we have our water brush, which allows you to squeeze like so, and the water will come out the end of your brush, and you can then paint very, very easily with that on the go if you want to. It's got a lovely nib on it, nice point on that, so that is perfect. Remember, when you fill your water brush, when you open your water brush, you open it in the opposite direction as you would normally do to any other paint, any other pen, pencil, what have you. So when you think you're going to undo it, you want to unscrew anti-clockwise. With water brushes, you unscrew clockwise, okay, and you do up anti-clockwise. So if you think I can't open my water brush, that's simply because you're probably unscrewing the wrong way. I don't know why they do it. It may be something to do with the way the water travels. I have no idea, but that actually is one of the quirks of water brushes. Now I'm going to use also a number 3 Roland nickel paintbrush here, but the beauty of this is it's just a little bit finer than my water brush, so for some of the detail it's great. We do have a pack of brushes on their way. Now this video was recorded in October 2021, so if you're watching this, I don't know, November onwards time, you will probably already have seen these out on the market. But where we are at this stage, we're going to use our watercolor brush and we're going to use our number 3 brush. Now in your palette you have 24 colors. Mine are very grubby, but they are very well loved and very well used. Now you start off with your white and you go from to your yellow to your 2 skin tones, which I adore, to your ochre, to your orange, to your red, to your cerise pink, to your burgundy, to your purple, your blue, your lime green, your grass green, your olive green, your teal, your walnutty brown, your grey, your black. And then you come on to your 6 metallics, which is very unusual to find a mix of colours, of watercolours that have a metallic included with them as well. So what we've done is we've included a blue, an olivey green, the burgundy red, the gold, the silver, and a chameleon gold, which I will add some water to. I don't know if you'll pick this up very well. I'm going to zoom you in very quickly, and I'm going to bring that over slightly. Zoom you in, see if we can do this. Apply plenty of water in here, and this would turn into the most gorgeous watercolor paint. Now that, when you mix that color with your other colors, let me see if I can bring that up for you. Bring that up, hang on a second, come closer to you. I don't know if you can see that gold on there, but that, when you mix it with your colors on here, that is going to give you a metallic color of your paint. So it gives you options, and that is what I really like about these. So just remember that when you're using your paints, you have You do have options. Let me grab a little piece of black card, actually. That might show you what I mean. And I'll pop it just on the back here. So straight away you can see that's that gold coming through. That's not even dried yet. So when that dries, that will be sparkly and gorgeous and very metallic. Okay, so that is where we are with our watercolor paints, and that is why you need these in your life. They're a good price point. They're available on my website, that is thatcraftplace.co.uk, and also available on Create and Craft TV. So you will find those on both of these websites. Now, what we're going to do today, I've purposely got dirty water. It's not really dirty, it's got a tinge of red to it. Now, the reason I've done this is I want you to see when I lay water down. I want you to be able to see where the water is and why we put water in certain places. So let me move my stuff over a little bit. I think you can see that okay. What I might do is bring you in. If you see my hand going over, it's because I'll be grabbing my water, so you might not see this as we go along. So let me bring that in like so. And we're going to start now. Which petal should we start with? I think we're going to go with this one down here. So I'm going to have to bring you up a little bit like so, and I'm going to still come in a little bit more. Okay, so I hope you can get a good view of that. Now, what we've got here is our Poppy Cluster 3D Slimline Embossing Folder. This is probably the most popular embossing folder I've done to date, all bar the padded quilt, which is a very different beast. But what I want to show you today is how to colour these in. Now, these are just stunning, and the technique we're going to use for these is wet on dry. So that means, unlike the previous video where we wet our card and then we popped a little bit of colour on, this starts dry and then we add water and pull the colour out. So you might see me moving stuff around a little bit. You might see me turning my paints around and turning my card around. But you do need to do this when you are working with these. So what I think I'm going to do, let me what will be the best way to lay that out? Okay, I might bring that just like so. I'm just trying to think of the best place for you to see what I'm doing without me taking up too much space. Okay, so that's going to be where we're going to start. Okay, so this is a very strange angle, but it will give you an idea of what is going on. Now let's pop that like so. Maybe come out just a little bit so you've got more of a, there we go, that would be better. So you can now see the colours that I'm working with. You can see, you won't see my hand, but if I pop across over here, that's because I'm adding water, but you'll see when I do this. Now, when you look at your poppy, the beauty of these folders is actually it breaks down all the areas for you. So we've got an area here, this area along here, an area here, this area inside, the one under here, the one here, one down here. You'll see them all as you work with them. So we're going to start on this larger area here first. Okay, so I'm going to turn this around like so, and I'm now going to grab some water and I'm going to wet my watercolor paint. Now this is the bright red, which I adore, and I'm also going to have just here, you might see me use it, you might not, but I've got my trusty piece of tissue here. Now what we're going to do now, actually I'm going to bring my water down so I don't keep leaning over you. So my water is here, okay, just here, so you're not going to miss anything. That is all I'm going to be doing when I'm off camera. So let us grab some of this paint, this beautiful paint, and I'm putting water on, but not too much, and we're going to colour just along that line like so. We're going to come out a little bit, and you can see how pigmented these are. They are exquisite paints, and you won't be disappointed, I promise you that much. So we're going to come along about here, and then we are going to go into our water, clean our brush off, wipe it a little bit, but leave a little bit of water on, and we're going to now drag out that colour so you get the most beautiful watercolour effect. Now, during the course of this video, I might go quiet because I'm a bit of a nightmare and I cannot talk very well and actually colour at the same time. So you'll see that is going to dry beautifully, and we're going to move on to the next one. Okay, so we'll turn around this way a little bit, and we're going to go back in with that red, and we're going to pop some red just along here, across the bottom here, not too much. You can see how juicy these are. You don't want to go too far in. Going to clean off our brush, add a little bit of water, not too much, and we're going to pull out that colour again. So you get the most beautiful shading going on, like so. So I'm going to turn that around so you can see it's darker. If you want to add a little bit more darker at this end, you can. So our card is dry, but our brush is wet. Not too wet, but wet enough so the colour will travel. So now that's done, okay, this is still a little tiny bit damp here. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in with black. Okay, now don't be scared of this, but you do really need to do this because it makes such a difference. So I'm going to get some black and I'm going to pop it here. You can see that there. I'm going to mix that up. I'm going to wipe my brush just a little bit so we've got a tiny bit of black on the end, and we're going to just go into that shadow along here. Okay, don't panic when I do this, but you need to do this while it's still a little bit wet. Okay, wipe off your brush, wipe that brush off, grab a little bit of your red again, and you can blend that in. See that? That's all you're going to do. Blend that just like so, and then you're going to leave it. You're not going to do anything else to that. It will all come together beautifully. And take a little bit of the black again while this is still a little bit wet, just around the edge here, just around that edge, and then a little bit of the red again. And remember to try and do this before your paint dries, otherwise you will get water lines on it, and that's not what we want. So there we go, leave that just like so to do its thing. And then we're going to start off with, we're going to come up here now into this little piece here. Okay, so I'm going to turn my card all the way around, and it doesn't matter if the rest of it goes underneath like so, but you can see what I'm trying to do. So a little bit of water, and we're going to go back in, we're going to get that beautiful red, and we're going to come and paint in this little piece here. So you are going to take this section by section, just along that edge. There we go, and along this edge again. Leaving a little gap there, it doesn't matter because I don't want this red to run into that black. So there we go, and actually this travels, you can see it, it travels all the way up here. So we're going to grab that at the same time because that's going to go all the way to here. I can just see the end of it. That's where it goes. So just colour just around that edge. Okay, and then you're going to do the same. You're going to wipe off a little bit of water and spread that colour. If you find you've got too much colour, dab it off and do the same. So we're going to dab it off, just spread that colour into those gaps all the way along, and come around here and spread that colour. so you can see a difference in the area. Next thing I'm going to do is wipe off my brush. I'm going to pick up some of this black again, and I'm going to come into that little area down here, very, very delicately, very end of the brush, very, very end of the brush, and hit that just like so. There we go. And then we can go back in with our red, a little bit of red, just to smooth that out while it's still wet. Okay, that's gorgeous. And actually now that's dried over here, I'll take a little bit more of the black, and we can now come in here and come up that side as well. So that's perfect. Looking good, looking good. So this is a process you're going to do for the whole thing. Normally I would say I'm going to speed this up now, but I'm not. I'm going to do this because I think the more I do it, the more likely you will be to follow what I'm doing. I know it's very low, but I'm trying to make sure I can get in close and you can see exactly what I'm doing. So now we're going to turn around again. I'm going to try and bring that in so you can see even better. Okay, I hope that's okay for you. And then we're going to go again. We're going to go into this piece here. So although that's so I'm going to turn that way a little bit so you can still see the paint, but you can see what I'm doing. Wiping off, grabbing some of that paint, and we're going to go in here because you can see that's the area that's kind of underneath. You'll see, there we go. When you get to all these little bits here, don't worry too much, just kind of go around them, that's fine. But because this is the bit that's underneath, this is the side that's going to be darker. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit more dark here, and then we'll come in, clean our brush, take off the excess water, and then we'll blend that out. Okay, blend that out. So that is gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous already. Now I like a little bit, tiny bit more red in there, just to bring that out just a little bit more. Wipe the excess off and blend that out. Stunning already. Okay, so we're going to keep going, so we're going to bring that black in again, the tiny pieces of black, and that little piece of black is going to go under here, under here. There we go, just the tiniest amount. Can you see that? But you must be able to see it. Don't, if it goes very grey and pale, you need to add a little bit more black. So there we go. So this is where my comfortable place is, where you watch my previous videos and you can see I'm very out of my comfort zone. But this for me is happiness. This, I love the blending. I love the ability to do these techniques. So there we go. So the black showing, you can see now how this has dried and how stunning it's starting to look and the dimension you're getting. So now while we're here, we're going to do this one here again. So we're going to come in with our red. I might need to refresh the red a little bit, so plenty of water. I'm going to pop some down there because that's very heavy red now. I'm going to wipe off a bit because my brush is looking quite red there. So pop in here, and now we're going to come along here. I can see where the line is, all the way along, like so, like so. So it all makes sense very soon. Wipe off. Now come with a lighter piece here, a little bit dark still for me. Okay, you need to make sure you can get the difference between light and shade, so I sometimes put a little bit extra water in to take away some of that colour. Missed a little bit here, I can see that, a little tiny bit here, and that's underneath. So what I need to do here, this is a piece here, so I need to get a nice little piece of black. I'm going to take a solid piece of black here, just under there, a little bit heavier, so I can see now where the edge is. There we go. Happier now, happier with that. And then all I'm going to do is just blend that just a little bit, like I've said before. Here on this red poppy again that I've just done, so we'll just go a little bit of black around here, all the way down like so. Bring in a little bit of red just to blend that out beautifully. So there we go. So we're going to leave that like so. So hopefully you're following this beautifully, and hopefully you're going to give this one a go, because I think you're going to really like the result of this. So now we're going to come around to this piece here. Okay, do a little piece at a time. That is the main thing. You must remember, a little piece at a time. You do not need to do huge amounts. So grab our red, and then this is quite heavy actually. Take a little piece off, and I can see here, that's the piece underneath, all the way under here. Follow that around and up here. Then I'm going to turn around, because I can see here we've got another piece that comes under there like so. So we'll leave that like that, so you know that's going to be darker. And then we wipe off our brush and we spread out what we've got here. So that now will give us a little bit of light here. We don't want hardly any colour on that, because that's right at the edge. Okay, I might need to add a little bit more water in there, but I have to say that's going to look really good when that dries. So again, water off, do a little bit in there like so. I'm turning it around because I need to put my black in, and we do one at a time. As I say, it looks all very strange as you do this, doesn't it? But honestly, when it's all done, it's absolutely gorgeous, and the final result is going to be stunning. So look, just in there with our black. Now that's not dark enough, that's better. So you need the solid black. When it starts going grey, you haven't got enough black in it. And one thing I will say to you is, don't be frightened of black. Black is your friend. Black is always your friend here. And black gives you such a stunning look to your shading. It really makes a difference. So you can see now why I left that really pale up here. That's going to be beautiful. There we are. I don't know if you can see this starting to come together now. I hope you can. I really hope you can. So this one here that's white here, that's quite sitting on the surface. So I am going to use the red. I'm going to water it down slightly because it's kind of on the top, isn't it? And I'm worried if I put too much colour, it won't look like it's on the surface. So we'll keep that quite light, but don't worry, we've got a little piece here we need to put some black in, which will differentiate between those two pieces. So come round again, wet my brush a little bit, let me bring in some black again, because my black over here has got a little bit watery and we don't want that. And then I'll find that little line here, it was around there. There we go. Fill that in with the black. Now, there's a little bit of here I'm not happy with, and that I'd like a little bit of black in this tiny gap here. There we go. And just a little bit further down there. Now, I can see white in here, which I don't like. So we're going to bring that like so with your black again, and over here. There we are. So now you can see, while I've left this one light, I'll put a little bit of darker red in now. So that's going to be beautiful, just along the edge there. That's stunning. Okay, here we go. Now we are really starting to build this beautiful poppy up. You're going to love this when this is done. So now I'm going to concentrate this tiny little piece here. Can you see that little piece here? So let's get that red going again. I think I put some in here. Yeah, I did. Your red in here. There we go. And as that's fading out at the end, that's beautiful. You can see the darker in that corner. Get your black. Tiniest bit of black. Actually, it's not dark enough, so we need the black in here just to give it detail. Okay, and then there we are, just settle that in just in that corner. And now we can bring in a little bit of the red, tiny bit of the red, to lighten that up, and then dab off with the water and spread that. See what I mean? So how beautiful is that coming along? Let me bring you in a little bit closer if I can. Right, we're gonna go right. So I'm really vulnerable now. You can see everything I'm doing here, can't you? Let's get rid of these little white bits. That's lovely. So now let's do this piece here. Okay, this is a bigger piece. So let's get some colour, and I'm actually going to pop some colour down here. I need a larger piece of colour. We have got this little vein here, but we'll do that afterwards. And we're going to go into this gap like so in here. So we're going to pop this down along this edge and then all the way along like so. You can see the white, but let's not worry about that for now. Let's wipe off our paintbrush and then just spread this colour out. Okay, so you've got really like not a lot of colour at all on the end here, but you don't want colour because otherwise you'll have no shading, and the whole point of this is to give you as much shading as possible. So there you go. Let's just make sure we've covered all the areas that we need to. And then we're going with that black again, our favourite colour, black. Now, again, we're going to do that thing where we go all the way along the edge, all the way along the edge there. I've been slightly too thick here, unfortunately, but it doesn't matter, to be fair, because what we can do is then go in and amend that. And also, we've got this little line coming up here, if you can see that, which is our shading line. Let me see if I can come right in for that. You've got that little line there. So I'm going to bring my brush up into that very lightly. See that? So now you've got that shading line there. Let's push you out just a little bit. Okay. And then we get our red paint yet again, and we're going to come in and soften that black. Soften the black. And that's what it's all about, is giving you the definition but keeping it soft at the same time. It's a bizarre thing, isn't it? So I'm really pleased with that. Now let's just make sure that's got a nice blend there. Here I think this is quite heavy here, and I might go in with a little bit more red there if I can. That's just a little bit there. And then I'll just wipe that off and blend that just slightly. So I'm a bit happier with that now. Let me just, there we go. So that is where we are. Now we've got the large piece here and this tiny piece here. We'll do that piece last. We're going to go in with this big piece here. So don't be frightened of the big pieces. So plenty of paint on here. Plenty of paint. Now let's come down all the way down here. Don't worry about these little stamens. Really don't worry about these for now. And then we're going to come up. Hopefully, I'll keep turning. I'm sorry I keep turning, but we need to keep turning our page. We're going to go all the way along here, and we can see that's a little bit of shading under there. Keep that like so, and we know that's going to be shading under here. Okay. I know this is a long video, but there is no other way of doing this. We need to do it properly. And then we're going to come in with our water and we're going to blend that out beautifully. So no stressing, just water. Blend that out like so. And that is all you need to do for that. And then we're going to go in with our black, as we did before, just around those edges, just around those edges. And we're going to start, let's start this side because I think this might be a little drier. Under there, all the way around. Don't worry about down here, you'll see what I mean when we finish. So you can leave this, you can leave that bit there, you don't need to do that. Right, we're going to come around this side with that black again, tiny amount. That's where you need your sharp paintbrush, not your sharp but your pointed paintbrush. A little bit of black in there, and already I think you can see it all coming together. So we've got a little bit of white in areas here, so we can go in with a little bit of red if we want to fill them in. I'm not too worried about having white areas anyway. I do quite like the white. And then here we go. This is where we're at. This is looking really good. I'm really pleased with this. Now we've got the tiny little areas here, so that's going to be pretty much red with a tiny bit of red, to be fair, because that's going to be coming across like so, like so, there with the darker red. And then we pull that colour out with the water, just water, because that will give us our light and shade. Do you see what I mean? Tiny little bit dark at the edge, and you pull that just out very lightly. Don't cover it all, otherwise you won't get that definition. And you can, the reason I've done that is now I can see that sits over the top, so I need black under there. We didn't do black under there, but you can see now by doing this piece last, I can see exactly where I needed the black. Okay, just like so. Now we bring in our red again, and we literally dab that. There we are, looking really good. It's starting to look quite watercolory now, isn't it? I think it is anyway. So now we need to do a little bit of black across the top of that, tiny amount, tiny amount. I'm sorry for my camera, I do jog my camera a little bit. I'm jogging it with my forehead as I'm leaning forward, so apologies if I have done that. Oh, too much black, too much black, too much water in the black as well. There we go, happy with that, really happy with that. Not happy with this, I think it's a little bit too grey. Needs to be a little bit blacker in here, and a little bit blacker in here. Then we'll have a little bit more red, tiny bit more red. Not enough red. There we go. That's better. And then we'll bring our brush in and just soften that a little bit. Okay. Finally, we need to do this tiny bit here. And can you see what I mean? I'm taking every single section separately. Every section. Now that's going to be quite dark under there. Okay. And then we're going to pull it out, even though it's a tiny bit, we're pulling it out so you get your light and shade everywhere you need it to be. And then we're going to get our black and we're going to go just along that line. Oh, not enough black, not enough water on my brush, I think, but I don't want to put too much on. A little bit of black there and a little bit, let me turn that around. Let's get some more water on that brush, but wipe the excess off, please. Don't leave too much water on there. There we go. And around here, so I can get that black in there. And then I'm going to just put a little bit of red in, so we blend that in. Oops, no, I put black there on my brush. Silly Lisa. Just a little bit of red. To soften that out. There we are. So that is where we are with our poppy. Push that out just a little bit so you can now see all the light and the shade in that. I'm really pleased with this. Now the middle bit, this is the easiest bit of all. So all you're going to do is you're going to take your brush, you're going to wet your brush. So we have got our brush here, and I've literally wet my brush. Let's come out now. We can do this coming out. Wet the brush, and we're going to fill in with water all these bits here, all the white bits, just with water. And this is when you take your, this is what we call a wet on wet. So now you're going to move it out of the way, and you're going to take your black paint, you're going to dab that in your water, and it's going to fill in all those areas. You can see the water just gripping the areas like so. You could add some yellow into it, but I don't want to make this messy. I like it as it is. So that's your flower. Now to finish this off, what we're going to do is we're going to do the leaves. I know this is a long video, we're going to keep it to 45 minutes if we can, and we're going to try and get through as much as we possibly can. I'm not going to finish the entire thing, but we're going to finish this little piece here because I think it's really important for you to see. So now we've got some green in here already, so to create that green, all we did is, I know it's dirty water, but we're going to go in with that olivey green over here, and we pop some in here, add loads more water in here. So now you've got quite a fluid colour, but it's going to be quite watery. So if I bring in my colouring book, I can test it here and go, that's quite light, but okay, we can add a bit more after. So take some of this, and now I'm going to turn this around. I'm going to move this out of the way just slightly, and I'm going to put my water over here. And now again, it's moving at these angles, which is really important. So I'm now going to come down with that green, which is barely on there, grab a little bit more here, and we're going to come up here just on that stem. I've got water on the end of my brush, so I just wipe that with my hand. And we'll do this one again, quite a light green. So depending on how much water you put on, you can change the colours of all your colours if you like. And then when I can go in a minute, and I can add in a little bit more darker green. So if I come over to the green now and I don't put any more water on, I can now turn that into a darker green. I'm going to have a little bit of darker green there, a little bit of dark green down this side and along here, like so. Coming up here, so all the shaded areas around there, quite possibly there and there, and I might even pop a little bit there, and then I can add a little tiny bit of water just to spread that out. Tiny bit of water to spread those colours out, and actually put a little bit dark up there if you want to, but we're not going to be working on that petal. You're going to be working on that petal, so you can do a section at a time. So there we are. Now this little one, I'm going to treat that as one that's starting to open, so that's going to be a red one, isn't it, if it's starting to open. Now remember, you don't just have to do red poppies, you can do blue poppies, you can do white poppies. White is great because you can do them with greys. So that's going to be a little bit darker that side, isn't it? We know that because it's hiding behind that other poppy. And then all we're going to do is bring out that colour lightly to that side. I've got a little bit of red on the green, but don't worry, we can go back in with the green. That's the beauty of watercolour. And change that. That's gorgeous. And then actually a little bit more green because it's gone a little bit yellow there. We don't want that yellow. A little bit more green. And now we're going to go with our black, obviously, because our black is our friend. And we're going to come in here. Too watery, hang on, a bit darker. Get black in there. And with a little bit of black down that centre mark. And there we go. So let me just lighten up this because this is a bit dramatic, as in it's kind of stands out too much, that black line. A little bit, tiny bit of red. We're almost at the end. Almost at the end. There we go. Now, your final thing, you don't have to do this. You really don't have to do this, but I love to do this. We are now going to take a white gel pen, and again, we have white gel pens on their way. Obviously, again, we are in October 2021. November 2021, you should see the emergence of gel pens as well, white ones. So I've just got my little book here. I'm just going to make sure my white is working. That's beautiful. And now in the middle here, I'm just going to dot a few little white pieces. Okay, so it makes my centres almost look like they are stamens as well. So there you go. So there is poppy number one. Okay, I've got another one. It's not finished yet. I've managed to get 3 of the poppies done, but I haven't finished all my little dotty work on it either. But let me just show you one that I did previously. So you keep going with every flower independently like that, and you can start achieving this result. As you can see, I'm still working on my last poppy. These two, I've put the beautiful white gel pen over the top, which I absolutely loved, or you can leave it without the gel pen. I've given it here 2 options, so you can choose. Again, little sections at a time. And once that's done, that would be beautiful in a frame on the wall. That would be beautiful as a card. It also comes with a die, so you could have cut it out first and done the artwork like so, laid it up onto a card, or you could have even put that into a white frame with a black trim where it would look super cool. So there we go. That's our colouring of the poppies. I hope you enjoyed that. Please make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crafting with Lisa Horton, and make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified of all the new videos coming out from myself and from the design team members. And please leave us a thumbs up if you like the video and if you'd like to see more. So thank you very much, everybody. Have a good day, and I will see you next time.